Welcome back to Athlete's Edge, the Coaches Edition podcast, your front row seat to learning from experts who are leading the way in sports coaching. Our mission is to introduce you to impactful coaches from every sport so you can provide the best support for your student athlete and provide them with the best opportunities as they look to advance their sporting careers. Today, I'm excited to introduce to you our special guest, Charlie Miller, head coach of Attack Basketball Academy. And they specialize in the whole product, mental, emotional, spiritual, and body, the whole tactical and physical side of basketball. Charlie, it is wonderful to have you here today.
Thank you, Tony. I appreciate it.
Okay, so let's just jump right in. Can you give our viewers a snapshot of your coaching program and its major outcomes? What makes you brilliant?
I appreciate that. So the name of my company is called Attack Basketball Academy. We're located in Carrollton, Texas, which is a suburb of Dallas, Texas. And what makes us brilliant, I'm using your words, not mine, is that we figured out not only the practice side or the practical side of basketball development, player development, we've helped players learn how to study the game as well. When we say study the game, we're talking about mental edge of the game. We're talking about the emotional side of the game, the spiritual side, something you believe in that's bigger than you, that really carries you when you're in slumps and when you're just down. And it's inevitable to happen. We also talk about the physical side of it, not just what you put in your body as far as fueling, eating, hydration, exercise, rest, recovery. You're like time off. When we talk about no time, people might think I said NO, but I said KNOW. Right? You got to understand you're in no time for boundaries, right? When you got to work and when you got to say, I'm off today. I'm having fun with family and friends. And then you got to go into the technical side of it, right? So the technical side is what you want to build in skill. And Tony, to me, it's my amazement. I feel there's only 4 things you really got to learn per individual category skill in basketball to keep it really simple. And then you got the tactical side. The tactical side is now how I put all together team conceptual concepts. Right now, when you play for a coach that loves to run plays, or a coach who allows you to make plays. You got to learn to break plays to make them. So I try to make a player a chameleon, fit in any environment and thrive. That's what makes us unique and brilliant.
That is fantastic. I love the description. I love where you're going to with this. And you said something just before the show started with me was how you came up with this idea. Tell them that little story, because it was the reverse engineering.
Yeah, so it was like, okay, it's a mentor of mine, Tony, coming to me and said, hey, you want to learn, we'll talk about this too, hopefully, about how I build curriculum for basketball camps throughout the country and the world. And he said, okay, now you're building curriculum. Now go build a camp for 16-year-old Charlie, who was a top player in the country, who knew a lot, but what did he need to know to get to that flight edge at next level? And that lit up a light bulb in my head to become really concise to really understand, how to build curriculum. And it was really taking my younger self and then doing what we call reverse engineering, beginning with the end in mind, Stephen Covey's work, right? Beginning with the end and then taking it to the beginning. And I said, you know what? These are the things I learned over time from marvelous coaches and mentors. Now let me put this in a format where I can actually use daily myself, still through my experiences, but then also put it together for parents, coaches, and players who want to embody excellence in these 3 stars. Develop, grow, and excel. That's what those 3 stars stand for in all over. And that's how we did it.
That is, it's really cool. And you said something there that I think young athletes need to hear. And that's a mentor of mine.
Yes.
We tend not to push that idea today on young athletes to go find a mentor. What do you feel about that? How do you feel about that?
Well, I don't know how you're going to grow without someone telling you no, or someone telling you that's not it. Okay, keep working at it. And also the biggest part is their wisdom. Right? It's their insight. It's not necessarily their accolades and their achievements and successes. It's all those things because of their failures. And what they're trying to do for you is tell you what not to do more than anything. Right? For when I was building curriculum, give you a great example. I was so excited and gung-ho on just putting things together. I find a a great move from a great professional player to say, hey, my mentor was named Jim Huber. Hey, Jim, hey, what do you think about this, Charlie? That's awesome, but where does it fit in this curriculum we're building for a 5-year-old, right? Where does it fit for an intermediate player? And I would get upset, just like anything else. Like, oh, man, you always telling me something's not good enough. No, I appreciate where you're going with this, but it doesn't fit and doesn't flow. The layered skill progression is not there. So then I would come back and say, how about this? You got it. Okay, now add this. What about? So now all of a sudden, he's teaching me by giving me feedback that I need. So now I'm able to do the same thing several years down the road. And actually now I find excitement in what they call the board time, writing curriculum. I love that. I love it.
That is awesome. That's unusual as well. There's not many people love that.
What it is, but I understand that, but I don't know how you get great at doing anything unless you understand to master the mundane, right? Because at some point, once you do master fundamentals and you can make every shot on your own with no pressure, and you can do it under pressure, you can shoot a game shot from a game spot at game speed. You have to add other elements, time and score to really push you. Not saying it's that easy, but you get what I'm saying. You got to use something to continue to fuel your drive and your performance. And for me, it's challenging myself in areas of learning how to teach things I might not be good at.
Yeah, great stuff. Again, something that you said there in our pre podcast chat was we don't teach kids how to study.
Yes, sir.
Tell me a little bit more about that, because I agree. I don't think kids really study the game anymore because information is so kind of readily at hand. So, yeah, tell me your thoughts on that.
No, you just said it so readily at hand that we think, and the brain wants to always finish the sentence, right? I know this. I got this. Like a little thing I like to do with people when I first meet them. Don't answer this, Tony, in your head. Do not answer 2 + 2. You couldn't help it. You could not help but answer that question, right? So if I get that snippet on social media, 30 seconds of a clip, oh, I got it now. I'm going to go practice this and I got it. Well, that's the version of it that's finished and polished. How did that come about, right? What's the root of it, right? Getting to the root, I think when you study, the word study itself is a study of K-N-O-W, the study of know-how. Right, we're talking about know-how, mastery, competency. We can practice because it's boring to study because people relate that to school or 12 years of school or whatever they may be, whatever level you might be in a school. And that's where I think the fallacy is that you can't equate that because actually education is the way of life. So we talk about becoming a lifelong learner, but the one piece that's always missing, you can practice all day. You can go do it physically. But the mental aspect, when you think it, ink it, the word ink is in think. You got to write things down. I always tell people you got to keep a 5x7 notebook. You got to keep something with you, You got to keep something with you. 3x5 cards, right? Give yourself pop quizzes, okay? You got to do things like you have to have stuff that can remind you because life, to me, is not about muscle memory. It's about working memory, Tony. It's an executive function, right? Something that we don't really talk about. I want to get into that as well. And then it's about total recall. How can you recall? It's not IQ. I don't care what we talk about. It's not IQ. It's awareness. How aware I am. How is Messi so good at kicking a soccer ball? I kick the same soccer ball. What is he doing that I'm not doing? Well, he's here to kick the soccer ball. I'm just kicking the soccer ball. I'm not delayed enough. I'm not poised enough. Right, I can go on and on about study. Right, again, this is the side I love.
Yeah. No, it's great to hear that, and I love what you just said there. Ink as in think. Write it down.
No one's for you. When you think it, you gotta ink it. So again, like camp, I have a 6-hour camp, 6 hours per day, 18 hours over 3 days. I'm going to teach a lot, and I know that. I'm going to give you more information that you've ever heard before. And it's going to be overload. Why? Because I got an 18-hour camp to entertain you. But also, I'm going to give you a lot of education. I call it edutainment, right? I'm going to give you what you need for small victories to stay engaged, right? To get your winning edge, but then I'm going to educate you. So now I got you. And when I got you, I now got you locked in to say, oh, you got your phone? Don't check TikTok. Don't check social media. Go to your notes book and go type down these notes. Because at 3 o'clock when this camp ends, I need to hear 3 things from you that you learned that you never learned before. And then let 3 accumulate to 4 or 5. Over time, you got 21 things over a 7-day period. Now, I need to take the top 3 things from that and study that. And that's what I'm going to focus on the next 90 days. So where, again, it's really teaching people the study side, not the practice side. That's the easy external side. It's the mental, emotional, and spiritual side of it.
Right. Right. 100%. It's got to be in that. Now, you mentioned the development of curriculum that you work on around the world. 2 questions. How did you get into kind of doing that curriculum stuff? But then as you're doing that, as you're going through the coaching, what's some of the biggest lessons that you can pull out of that works into everyday life for these kids? Because they play on the court, fantastic, but they live a life a whole lot longer than they play on the court.
For sure. So great question. So how I got into curriculum writing was I showed a lot of enthusiasm when I first got with a group called Breakthrough Basketball, one of the #1 resources in the country and the world to meet as far as teaching coaches, parents, and players how to play, right? Where they have coaching manuals, like products, services they offer, and also camps. So I wanted to become better as a player development coach. There came a time where I really need to do that. So because of my experience and what have you, I was able to actually build 20 teams in about 10 months, where I was coaching 20 teams. I was coaching all of them. I had like 3 or 4 assistant coaches that were just really along for the ride, to be honest with you. And it was really a placeholder for me too, because I really didn't know what I was doing. About 10 years ago, I started losing players due to the fact that I couldn't be at games, or the coaches wasn't coaching at practices like I was. I was going off for sheer passion, and I really never had a game plan. So I started losing players and teams. I said, you know what? I really want to go into learning how to coach. And I think player development is my lane I really want to figure out. So I got with Breakthrough Basketball. And, they were the ones who allowed me to start running basketball camps, in a major, major, major deal for me to learn and grow with feedback from parents and coaches and players. Feedback from people who don't care about what you've done in your background. 0, they didn't like your camp. 10, they loved your camp, and they will recommend other people to come. I had to really learn to pay attention to those surveys. And the surveys became really the goal for me. That was my goal, GOLD. My goal was surveys. Looking to say, okay, I got to get better at delivering this product or service. I got to be quicker in this aspect of this offer. I got to get off my soapboxes of what I did when I was younger, whatever it might have been, to continuously get better and grow. And they say, you know what, man, you're really doing good at camps. You're taking the feedback well from parents. You want to learn how to write curriculum? Yes. And that's how I got into it. And then again, you take that to now where I have my own products and service that we offer, from, basketball silos, finishing, ball handling, footwork, mental mindset. You are creating what I call the complete player. That's my avatar, my aspiration. May not ever get to that, but that complete player you're talking about. That's how I got into it.
So that's a question I had here was, how would you define a winning mindset and this complete athlete? How would you define that?
Yeah, someone who understands that what you're learning on the court goes beyond the court. And that's what I really appreciate. That's why I really appreciate doing camps, because when I hear a parent or a player or coach who does not know me, take the shyest player and say, Coach, man, that's a lot of life lesson you're giving. Well, I'm doing it on purpose. They don't know that, right? Or when I say, when you think it, you must think it. And the parents say, you know what, man, you said that, you got me. You said that, like I've been telling my son and daughter, and well, guess what? You're too close for comfort. You're the same place. They can hear from me all day, because it's for them, it's goal. Now for you, it's a GOAL. It's a goal. You guys just blame it on me. Remember, Tony said, they can eat it. You don't do it, I'm going to call them. What am I going to do? But, again, it's just another way to understand it's always been beyond the sport. We're talking about character development, right? We're talking about attitude, my ABCD. Attitude, behavior, character development. That's all it is, which takes effort, right? grace, gratitude, we can continue to go, inspiration. That's it, right? That's all it is. It's just the ABCs. And even when I'm teaching basketball side, you got to understand your academics, your basketball skill set that must be there. Academics got to go hand in hand. You care. Off the court, your attitude of gratitude, you got to play with a positive mindset, right? Positive thinkers always have positive things that happen. You got to have it, right? Not necessarily being serendipitous, but you got to be positive. What you can't control, how serenity, right? Serenity, I should say. But you can't use courage. Courage and action is fate, right? Those things. Then you got basketball skill set. You got behavior, which is someone's always watching you, right? They're always watching. Someone's going to come get, say, an evaluation. Someone might go to the cafeteria person. They may go to the custodian. How does this person really treat people? And that matters if you're representing a school or institution, right? Or professional organization. That stuff matters in character. So we're talking about character.
So, a question with regard to all of this. It's the character development. It's creating that well-rounded athlete. You said that you received feedback well, which is phenomenal. And we need to, again, educate and teach people how to do that. So you've got a young athlete on the court and things aren't going well for that athlete, and you can see their body language turn down, that they start to disengage. How do you then give that young athlete feedback when he doesn't necessarily want to hear it?
Great question. Now, two sides. Let's say I don't know this athlete. I'm at a basketball camp and I correct this athlete, right? And I go over in depth how to correct versus how to criticize and not being sugarcoated either. So I ask a question. Can I coach you? And I shut up.
Yeah, like it.
You normally say, what do you mean? Well, right now I know you look very upset, you're passive aggressive, and if I say another word, you might go thumbs up or, do the eyes. That's fine. Been there, done that before. Let me know when I can coach you and when you can hear me. I'll come back to you. I empower the young person. Versus, very simple. I ask questions, Tony. I don't question people. I have no idea that young person's background. I have no idea what they're going on at the house. A prime example of what didn't work for me one time. I thought I was striking a chord with a young player when I was doing a camp this past summer, and I was going back and forth talking trash with him. I thought he could handle it. All of a sudden, he looks at me and breaks down. I say, you know what? I'm so sorry. Shoves my hand off, goes away. I'm going through something right now. Wow. I said, no, I'm thinking we're going back and forth. He was just quiet. I'm thinking he's just taking it. He's smiling. He was really trying to hold back tears. Burst it out. I had to eat crow and say, I'm so sorry. I appreciate you. I see you. I'm sorry. I'm like, please come back the next day. Because I'm like, oh, no.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I'm like, I got to call this parent. I got to be proactive. And I did. Hey, so-and-so, I did something. I'm taking responsibility. I shouldn't have. I went too far. Forgive me, parents.
Yeah.
Thank you for calling us. He's fine. On the survey, the mom says, my kid was seen and heard at that camp.
Yeah. Yeah.
That. Yeah. And again, not trying to, placate or say, but you never know what someone's going through. And I can't come in based upon what I've done. Tough coaching, I was never able to take tough coaching. I had a lot of words for my coaches here that, I played in spite of them sometimes. Not a good thing. Know what that feels like from experience. I played in spite of coaches that did that to me. Right? You can't always be Incredible Hulk to me. That's not the way to grow. Right? And that's what I was. I'm going to show you, and I'm all of a sudden, there you go. Why'd you play like that? Because you ticked me off. Right? And no, you can't always be that way. And that's not what I'm trying to help players understand. You don't need to be that. Right? Take your responsibility and accountability on your own.
Yeah. There's two things that I want to go in there. I want to get to self-talk.
Yes, sir.
But the first thing, because I want to talk to the athletes and self-talk and even coaches and self-talk. But I want to address something you said there about, and I want to talk to young coaches who are out there potentially listening to this, is the idea that you made a mistake, right? But then you owned the mistake and you did proactively reached out. I wish I would have spoke to you before the game that I coached yesterday, because I did that same mistake. And I realized it, owned it, apologized. How do we facilitate coaches' instruction where they don't have to feel that they know everything, and let them know that they are going to make mistakes and they are going to tick players off? How do we help these young coaches out there in that arena?
Tony, it's never personal. It's not a reflection on you. How hard you work, your resume, what you've done. You lost 10-0. You lost by 30. Not really a reflection on you. You did all you could. So don't start shaming and blaming and shoulding. I call it, don't should on people. Should is a comparison word. Don't start doing it to your people. I hear coaches, you know what, my 5th grade team is better than that. Or my nephew can do that. No, don't go into downing someone and shaming and blaming. Right? It's because that's not the way to motivate, inspire. Right? So therefore, let's understand what coaching means. The word itself means to carry you. The word is a colloquialism, right? From the University of Oxford students. They would say you need a coach to carry you. Where's the coach? Horse and buggy carriage. So when I learned coach means to help you from one stage to the next, pun intended, then that's what it's about. Point direct. Be a lighthouse. Don't come to me, go that way. It's really prepositions. I mean, really, not to go English here. It really is, right? It's okay. Put your hand here. Oh, you always do that wrong, Tony. No, Tony, put your hand right here. Have the arm close to the ball in the now. Thumbs down, palms down. Michael Jordan did it, right? Eyes tell lies, Tony. Eyes also spell yes. Eyes make layup, Tony. Right? EYES, eyes make lips. That, you always miss, you always never. That's blame and shame and guilt. I've experienced that side. I know where it took me to the lowest of lows as a person. I'm on this court. I can't throw a beach ball on the beach. From Miami, Florida, Tony, I am. Throw a beach, the ball rejects it. I'm like, I can't do anything. I'm so terrible. But that's because, again, I let somebody get into my premium space. Yeah. This priceless space up here that you cannot put a value to. And you can't have some, the false confidence, bravado stuff. Not only lasts so long. So yes, how do you do that? Study, prepare for practice. Yeah. Know your players. You cannot create impact without relationship. Get to know them. Tony, how do you want me to coach you when you're upset? That's when we all got the smile and giggles. Not when you're upset too late. Let me leave you alone, and come back to you when you want to hear from me. Yeah. Fantastic information there. And I'm learning every day as I go through this program that I'm running. And I hope that other coaches can hear this and learn this same content. You said a lot of content there, but one thing, and I'm going to come back to. Tony, you asked me a question earlier. How do you relate this to life? Tony, I live this. Tony, this might be arrogant, conceited, is what it is. Tony, I'm cheating. I'm applying the things I'm talking about every day. Right. Yes. I'm founded. It keeps me content. It really does. Yeah. What does achievement? I have a question for you. What does success and achievement really give us? Yes. What a great question. In your words. Whatever it may be. For me, it should give me joy, happiness, contentment, loving what I'm doing, loving where I'm living, loving my family, loving my friends. That's what it should. Right on. And I hear it does. I feel it. I hear it. What it also gives us is more insight and more education. So after I get this reward, I got to put it down and build from there. And don't look at it like I got another mountain to climb, because it's all mountains, whether it's small hill or, Mount Everest. It's all the same. The difference is the distance. How far am I willing to go and grow? So how do you do this? I do it every day. I wear those 4 buckets every day. I'm not perfect, but I do those 4 things every day. I'm on the court as an active coach every day, learning, getting feedback. You like that? No, I didn't work, coach. That's terrible. All right, why? Because of this. All right, cool. I don't do this. Here,
Let's change it.
relax.
Yeah.
This.
Yep.
Again, it's not personal. I'm okay with being corrected from a young person.
Yeah. Yeah. And I like the idea of not being personal. Coaches, we all need to learn and understand
It's nothing.
that side of
Someone's
things.
paying you for your service. You work,
Yeah.
they work, you work for them.
Yeah.
So you need to deliver. You got to deliver on your deliverables. I tell parents all the time, you're paying this coach. I appreciate you coming to me to find the words for your son or daughter. Stop that payment and say, look, here's what we need to get. We're not getting this. You're not a tree, you're free to move.
Yeah. 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 Very true. So I want to bring it back to something you said about when coaches were kind of putting the pressure on, and you said to yourself, I'm going to show you, and you went out there and did it. How does self-talk play a role in an athlete's performance?
I believe it plays, it's the role. I think it's in the story, it is the protagonist.
Mm-hmm.
It's that friend that always shows up and all of a sudden, who's this character? And that's that one when, again, the thinking create positive things. It's really, that's the real hero of the story. The star of the story to me is self-talk, because you can't stop talking to yourself. Whether you want to call them addiction, you cannot stop it, right? And you got to understand the mind wants to complete sentences. It wants to see a little bit and do a lot. You got to understand that reticular activating system, right? I see one thing, I'm going to continue to see it because I'm looking for it. Don't realize it. I'm searching. So it's understanding that. And then you got to have positive, conscious suggestions you keep on the top of your mind. When you speak it, ink it is one for me. I spell yes is another for me, right? So when you see chess change direction, I don't care what sport it is. See chess change direction, no chess go. Don't matter what sport it is. We're trying to get shoulder to shoulder. Okay, so it's like little conscious suggestions when you're off the court, off the field. Think, is it truthful? Is it helpful? Is it inspiring? Is it necessary, nice? Is it kind? THINK. Think before you do. Pause for poise. Be 1 second late. John wouldn't say.
Right.
Learn to respond, not just to react. Ask people questions. Don't question people.
Yeah.
Big difference.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's all fantastic stuff that I talk a lot about self-talk in the work that I do.
Yeah.
And 80% of our life is lived from our subconscious. Sorry, got that wrong. 95% of our life is lived from our subconscious. 80% of what we say to ourselves is negative.
Right.
So we've got to now overcome all of that and work hard to work on that 20%. Can we kind of convert that and stop the negative thinking? I've got a negative voice inside my head, and I've actually named him. I call him Ivan, and I know when he's showing up. And what I then do is I acknowledge him. Thank you very much for your input. Now, what can we do differently?
Okay. You nailed it. You gotta label things.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The acronym is called RULE. Book is called Raising Emotionally Strong Beings.
Yeah.
Okay. We're talking about self-regulation.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Emotional intelligence, if you want to go there too. Recognize what's going on. Understand what Ivan is saying is not real. Label it. You not only label what he's saying, you label the ruler. So then you can express it, execute it, and then the R is regulate, ruler.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, again, another way where raising still for me as a 48-year-old person, how to regulate in this up and down coaching society. where I'm pulled at, where I can miss out time from family events, where coach, can you talk to so-and-so for this and then do this, that it happens. You put yourself in that position. Or if you need to have boundaries, I got to have them. No, I can't do it right now. So I love that you labeled it because, I don't have a name for mine. I think I have to name him. I actually call him Little Charlie, to be honest with you. I do have
Little Charlie. Yeah.
Because Little Charlie was labeled by my business coach years ago. She would give me homework and I would get mad. She was like, why do you always get mad when I'm actually trying to help you earn income? You always get mad. Like, you need to check out Little Charlie. And I was like, look, what do you say, Little Charlie? And it is Little Charlie.
Yeah.
It was Little Charlie, Little Charlie, David. No, not eating. No.
Yeah.
No, not any other than that. And it's Little Charlie. Little Charlie comes up because he just wants his way. No, it's okay, Little Charlie. We got to take time out, be patient, learn over time. And
for sure.
Little Charlie now he's now a teenager, but
teenagers can be worse.
It could be. Hey, trust me.
Yeah, I know. Right. Yeah. Okay, just shifting gears to parents for a second. I want to know, in your arena, what's the most common mistake you see parents make when they're supporting their young athletes?
One, not communicating with the player as to what they're going to do collectively as a group.
I love that.
Not anything other than that. Okay, well, he's going to work out with you. Whoa, is he or she okay with that? You researched me, not them.
Yeah.
You did the homework and research, not them. How about we have a sit down first and let's get to know each other, because I may not be that person for them. I'm okay if I'm not. Because if they do something I don't like, I'm going to call it out. It's just them and me on court. I'm going to hold them accountable.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I think that's one of the things. Don't just take the player along for the ride, because again, that's where, you start doing things in spite of your parents. And all of a sudden that then steamrolls over to other aspects of life. Learn to have a sit down. This is a commitment to work out with me. It's an honor for me, but it's a commitment because you're going to use your resources and your time. So we need to make sure that whatever we're doing, we're all in together. And we need to create a GPS, a game plan for success. We're not randomly working out. We're not just going to work on shooting and all these things you're not going to do. Right? We're going to work on things that you do, and we're going to figure out what you don't do well. And we're going to say, do you need to continue that? We got to do that. The old 20-80 rule, the free tip. 20% of your skill time, you're going to use 8% of your time.
Yeah. So, and it's important that the families sit down together with this, because resentment builds, right? You've got the parents going, look, I'm driving you everywhere. I'm paying for all this. I'm doing all of this, and you're not committed. And then you've got the kid going, I don't really want to be in this program, and you're forcing me to do it. But no one's actually sat down at a table and said, hey, what do we want here? What do we want to happen here? So that's a really cool piece of advice that I hadn't heard before.
It's not just you and I, Tony. We're a piece of it. We're not the quarterback yet. But you got also the school coaches. They're the ones, not necessarily the club coach. It's the school coaches. They're, to me, the person that I understand a lot of times they're not going to have the time to meet with you. That's, again, why I created this opportunity, the business I'm in. I want to be a vessel for parents, players, and coaches to help navigate through this murky water of, I want to be all I can be. I want to be the man. I want to be the female. Cool. Let's create the game plan. So coach says you can't be that until 2 years from now. Okay, great. Let's game plan it. Let's backward design it. And here's your blueprint. Do this. Not saying it's going to be that easy, but yet we're doing things purposely with intent. We're preparing our work. We're planning. We're not working out randomly. We have a game plan action every day. The point of this also, Tony, is to see me less, not more.
Right.
Every day. I'm okay.
For sure.
Right? But my wife loves that. She's the business manager for our business. Right? One of this is to help you, tutor you, to get you to a space where you can learn to practice on your own. And then now we can continue to help you grow and develop in those other areas that you realize you really need. Not just the physical side, not just the technical side.
Right. And it is innate in kids that they want to practice what they're good at. Right? I'm good at this shot. I'm going to keep doing this shot. Well, what about that shot that you're not so good at? Yeah, but that's hard work and I don't want to do that. Yeah. Well, okay, then let's work on the character to get you there. Right. Yeah. And I think where we lose it is we've all been kids, right? We've all sat there and watched TV and we've watched these superstars play and we're like, I want to do that. And our ultimate goal as a young athlete is to be there. But to get there, the work that it takes to get there, that's not talked about so much. And then I'm partway on my journey as a kid and I'm like, I can't do that amount of work. You talked about Messi, the amount of work that man's put into his craft. Is anyone willing to follow and do that much work? Probably not.
No.
Right?
So
what's a different? Yes, I dream of that, but then also, let's get real. Where do we really want to go? And then the next thing is people want to play at college. Well, is that really, again, the work that you want to put in as a junior athlete? Do you want to be there? Or do you want to just have fun with this? And if it's fun, parents, let them have fun with it. Just be okay with that.
Writing something down as you speak to not be disrespectful, but I want to show you something. So we got player development, right? Whatever sport you want to play. Okay. So now you got to put in at least 30 or 40 hours a week.
Yeah.
On purpose.
Yep.
Okay. So that means that, take one day off. I got to figure out how to work out 5 hours a day on top of schoolwork.
Yeah.
To really master the mundane and the power of now. Mm-hmm. We don't talk about what we are good. We're talking about this podcast because we're sharing, right? But we don't talk about what we're good at. You don't keep harping on what you're good at. You really talk about what you're not good at because you're trying to seek to understand. That's where our part comes in too. That brings you peace. Another conversation. We'll go to the next, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Are you willing to put in 30, 40 hours? Are you willing to get your notebook and a calendar to write down one day what I'm going to do in the morning, my mental gym? I'm going to just sit in this chair for 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. Then I'm going to work on, I call my shadow drills. I don't need a ball, stance, stuff. Then I'm going to go work out practice. Then I'm going to go do something. No, I'm not doing that. Nah. Because you know why? They're going to have their phone with them. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, they're going to kick the ball, text, picture, shoot, text, picture. I worked out today and then wonder why they're still upset at the coach because the coach sees no proof. You're not putting the time in. I just equate it back to school. You go to school for 175 to 190 days, right? It's inevitable. If you want to go to school, your choice. But you get somehow promoted every year. That means you're showing at least 80% competency. You do the same thing in sports. You think bigger sooner. All of a sudden, give yourself time to grow. Wow, you're just as good as you need to be.
Yeah,
you're not preparing yourself to mess anymore. Now, imitate the greats, steal their traits.
Yeah,
emulate. Yeah, right. Steal the artist. Name of the book, Austin Kleon. Steal like an artist. Right. That's it. Make a choice.
Yeah.
Take from what's out there, and what's out there is this information. That's called intelligence. FBI does not go look for information. They move on intelligence.
Yeah.
That's the key for me. I'm trying to get you intelligent and move diligently on purpose. And it takes time for that, right? That takes relationship.
Yeah.
I'm tired of telling me you're writing things down. But that's why you're sitting at the bench right now. You want to tell me I'm tired of coming to your game. I'm bored watching you sit at the bench.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm bored too. I'm tired of you doing the same mistakes. Figure it out. I'm sorry. Okay. I don't need you. Like, you come to me for help. You want help? Let's get help. Like, seriously, like, that's kind of where I go, man. I try to humble people. Not in the way where it's like, man, it's boring. You're bored. I'm tired of correcting you. Your mom is tired too. Try to have a life lessons with you. You know, like you think this is fun? It was to their kids like, man, this is hard coming to see y'all. Sometimes I don't like to see y'all. I mean, I'm honest with you. Like I got some like 450. I said, you know what? You guys are rude. You're disrespectful and rude. I gotta really gear up for you all. I'll be honest with you. I gotta really gear up. I gotta really come here motivated because I know y'all are gonna say things and do things when I correct you. But you know what? I did the same thing. So, and then you're like, Coach, you know what? I'm glad you said that. I appreciate that. That's pretty vulnerable, you, Coach. Yes. You guys hear me. I'm being honest. Yeah. And all of a sudden now, not saying we're buddies because I'm too old, but yeah, they allow me to teach them like I'm in the classroom. Right. I really want to help them. I mean, but I have to be honest with you. Like it's honesty. People want it, but like, how do you give it to people in a way where you realize I'm only giving this feedback because I'm the one who really hurt the bone, not you. Don't start yelling and screaming. It's about me. That's more about me. My resentment more is about I can't control you. I don't have the power of you. I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to tell you, like, what you're doing to me is disrespectful. You can't tell me that, but I'm gonna just go do that.
Right, and that's it right there, right, for sure. Okay, I'm gonna wrap this up with one final question here. If you could give one piece of advice to a young athlete or a parent or even a coach, what would it be?
Seek God first. Matthew 6:33.
Cool. Yeah.
Don't try to understand anything. Even this podcast. Don't try to understand it. Seek God. If you're ready to receive, you're going to receive what you need. And when you're ready to receive, you're going to be convicted. The energy, the effort, enthusiasm is going to come upon you. It's going to come upon you. And that's really the essence of the lesson of all of this. Don't hate what you don't understand. You got a trainer out there that does something that's unorthodox. Don't hate it. Appreciate it because that's an angle that I never would have done. And also that keeps down comparisons. Just run your race. Row your boat gently down the stream.
Yeah.
Row yours. I wrote an article on that, Tony. I used to write it's called Fifth Quarter. Right? Article called Fifth Quarter. They're like life lessons. Row your boat gently down the stream. Yeah. You might say harshly, gently. Right? Not even also, Tony, proactively, preventatively. It's an upstream journey. Let's prevent these things. That's the journey we're on, I feel. We're trying to prevent the next generation from going through the things that we've experienced. Not just people acting. Right? And then it says, merrily, life but a dream. Joy. Everlasting happiness. Bearing an absence of circumstance. I don't have to win today to be happy. Spell now backwards 1.
Yeah.
Get here now.
Yep. Brilliant. Love that advice. It's right there on it. And so if our viewers, listeners want to connect with you, collaborate with you, how do they find you? How do they get in touch with you?
Every tag, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube is Attack Beeble.
Attack Beeble.
TTACK BBALL. Spell it again. ATTACK BBALL. I think you'll love the legal name of our business is PONA. It's Plan, Organize, and Attack. That's the legal.
Nice.
Plan your work, arrange it, attack it.
Fantastic. Everyone needs to hear that. Well, I want to thank you for your time today, for your insights. It's been awesome. So much more to talk about. I think we're going to do a second podcast with you, Charlie, because this was a fantastic conversation. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, give me one of your takeaways from what I shared with you, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I think the biggest one is think it, you ink it. Yeah, it's got to be there. I wrote it down here. And I do a lot of writing. I've got 4 different journals here that I write.
I mean, again, it's the trophies, man. That's the trophies aren't those things. It's those things there. Those I've stole from all those people right there. All those people, thank you. All those people are my virtual mentors, right? It's what they call a book is synthetic imagination. You can create the creative imagination. That's the part of being a creator, right?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Nope, it's great. So, yeah, thank you again for your time. And thank you for tuning in. As always, we're here to provide you and your athlete with the content to grow and develop. Join us next week for another episode of Athlete's Edge, the Coaches Podcast edition. See you there. Right. Okay.